And once again, you saw it a little bit earlier. This photo of Colorado Congressman Jason Crow in the House, just remarkable. He is an Army Ranger. He was trying to get people on the ground as those rioters broke into the Capitol.
Denver 7's Gary Brode spoke to Crow just before Congress went back into session tonight. And Gary, Congressman Crow and other lawmakers sharing similar reactions to what happened today.
A lot of feelings really worked through after today, whether it's anger, disbelief, or just flat out sadness for our country. Representatives Ken Buck and Jason Crow were barricaded inside House chambers as the mob tried and eventually succeeded in getting in. And at one point, Jason Crow tells me he thought they were going to have to fight their way out.
We of this Congress and this administration.
What started as a contentious debate on the House floor.
They broke the glass.
Ends with lawmakers hiding on the floor.
I never thought for a moment in my life that I'd be called upon to have to fight my way out of the House floor as a member of U.S. Congress.
Representative Jason Crow was one of about 20 congressmen and women who didn't get out of the House chambers in time.
They closed the doors and actually took furniture and started to barricade the doors and windows as the mob tried to break down the doors and windows.
Representative Crow snapped a picture of that moment. He says it's an image seared in his mind.
The Capitol Police, they had their guns drawn and they were ready to make our last stand if we needed to. That was a very dark moment and one I'm still kind of coming to terms with.
Representative Ken Buck was also there.
You could hear that the doors, people were trying to force their way through the doors. About 5 or 10 minutes after that, the glass started breaking in the doors around the House floor. And it was clear that at some point the House floor would be breached.
Both representatives struggling to process the extremist acts on our nation's Capitol.
This was clearly a threat to our country, and it was more than just a riot over a sporting event or some other activity. This was really designed to shut down a key function in our government, and it can't be allowed.
When the electoral session resumed, Democratic Senator Michael Bennett was one of the first to speak. The senator compared today's actions to the ones that caused the fall of the Roman Empire.
And these armed gangs ran through the streets of Rome, keeping elections from being started, keeping elections from ever being called. And in the end, because of that, the Roman Republic fell and a dictator took its place.
Minutes before the electoral count was stopped, newly elected Congresswoman Lauren Boebert voiced her objection to the election results.
My primary objection to the counting of the electoral votes.
Boebert tweeted as the riots were taking place that she was safe and that she supports peaceful protest and the rule of law and denounced all acts of violence. We reached out to all other state lawmakers, whether by tweet or by statement. They tell us they are all safe and that they all condemn the actions of earlier today. Reporting live here in Denver, Gary Brode, Denver 7.
Thank you, Gary.